I work in Houston, Minnesota. Houston, Minnesota, population 1,020. We are in southeastern Minnesota in the Root River Valley. Bruce knows where it is. Just about 28 miles from where you lived in Winona, maybe 30. Population 1,020. We're in the knowledge economy. They're aware of that. These are farmers, just like many of the people in this area. Most of our people in the Root River Valley are farmers. But we don't ignore education is important. We understand it's important. We understand it's very important. So, here's what happened to our school. We are a very small school. We have 487 students in our school, the whole school system, 487. And our previous superintendent had fudged with the figures and reported that we had 550 students. So we got more money, and also the state of Minnesota couldn't close us because if we have fewer than 500 students, they consolidate you. So there's our dilemma. So he fudged the figures and then left town. This new superintendent comes on. The state of Minnesota does an audit and says, you people owe us some money. And we're going to close you. What? You don't have 500 students, and the rule is that under 500 students, you're consolidated with a nearby town. Caledonia is the nearby town. They started building a new elementary school. Welcome to our school, they said. Okay. The superintendent meets with, he calls them a townwide meeting. He wants all the people to come, whether you have children in the school or not. Come here to our place. And he tells them the situation. We owe money, we're in statutory debt, and they're going to close us because we don't have enough students. Now, you could be the people gathered there at that school, just ordinary citizens. Here's our challenge. Our challenge is that Minnesota has given us 1 year to get our enrollment up to 500. Let me hear some suggestions from you in the audience. What are we going to do? You tell me. Pardon? Start them earlier. Could get more people to move to town, but that's been a real problem in Houston. We've been losing population now for 50 years. So that's a problem for us. Hold them back. What? Now, I know if you were at that meeting, you'd be mad as hops. This darn superintendent screwed up his school, and he's only been there 1 month. It was a beautiful lesson in leadership. He took the blame. He said, I should have known. He should have known, but he said I did, so that we won't do all the finger pointing. Let's just say I'm the blame. Now how are we going to get out of this mess? Give me some ideas. What are we going to do? Could do preschool. What else? Adult education. Nobody said that people only have to be 18 years old, right? So we asked the people, what kind of courses you want? And a lot of our people are over the age of 80, and their great fear is that they're going to lose their driver's license. It's a great fear. It's very real. So, I don't know, we figured it out that night, what we could do. The question is there anybody interested in these people holding on to their driver's license and being good drivers? Is there anybody? Insurance companies, right? Now, you're thinking with me. See, we're trying to figure out who we got to network with. Insurance companies. So we go to these insurance companies and said, would you teach driver's education to these people over the age of 80? And what did the insurance companies say? Of course, right? They don't want to lose them. They lose a customer, right? So they do. And we get a lot of students, and that adds to our enrollment. Then we come back to the insurance company and said, would you give these people a discount if they take your course and pass it? And what did the insurance company say? Sure. That's the simplest lesson in community development. You got to have all winners. You got to have all winners. For as much as possible, you got to have winners. Did the insurance company win? Did we win? Did the 80-year-olds win? They did. So we began to do that. Another fellow stood up and said, we have a bike trail that goes through our town, but we don't have a bicycle shop. Now he says, wouldn't it be nice if we had a bicycle shop? And what we could do is teach entrepreneurship here. The kids could run the program, and it's got to finish in the black. They set it up, called Class Cycles. That held a lot of kids in town, and it got us again engaged in sort of thing. Another man, in fact, the Lutheran minister, who'd really gotten tired of his congregations, honest to goodness truth, said, I'd like to run a print shop. We don't have a print shop here in Houston. I'd like to run a print shop. They run a print shop. They do all the printing for the school. The kids do it. He's teaching them job skills. It's great. We get them. One of the teachers says, you know that at least 25% of our students drop out of school? I'd like to handle those students. I'd like to set up a special course for dropouts. I visit those classes. His kids are scoring at the 95th percentile, and every one of the kids who come back have now passed and graduated. Turning loose the entrepreneurship in your own school. Who's doing that? Now, what if I give you a real big hint and tell you that we actually opened the school year 2 years later with 1,100 students? The question is, how did we do it? And I'm not lying to you. This fall we will open, we did open, yeah. I forgot what month it is, with 1,800 students. How did we do it? I'm not lying to you. How could we have 1,800 students? Population of Houston is still 1,020. Online learning. Remember the times in which you live. And so we looked around and we said, who could benefit from this? 100 miles up the way is Mayo Clinic. Lots of children there at Mayo Clinic who need to be going to school. We run online courses there. Then we began to run online courses for homeschool kids. And then we got really good at it. And now we're up to 1,800 students. These were citizens just like you, meeting together saying, what can we do to get out of this jam?